Hey there. This is a side plank video. So pretty much everything from a side plank position, mixing up upper body, lower body, and obviously abs and low back. I'm gonna do an optional weight here, and then the second option for equipment is gonna be a loop TheraBand, the ones that are about a foot long. You can put that around your knees or your ankles if you need some more resistance for the hip part. So get onto one side. The starting position for the side plank is hand in front of your elbow, elbow underneath your shoulder, and then knees are bent at 90 degrees. If you're unbent, then when you lift your hips up, you're gonna put too much pressure into your feet. You wanna be able to put all the pressure up into your knees. So from this kind of comfortable position, you're gonna lift up and you're gonna bring your hips up and forward so that from a top view, there's a straight line from my shoulder to my hips to my knees. And then again, my feet are back behind me, so that's that 90-degree angle there. So starting, just holding this position, you're really gonna try to engage your stomach muscles by drawing your belly button back towards your spine. So from a top view, if someone were to look down on me, I want my abdomen to be narrow. That's going to engage your transverse abdominis, and then it's going to support your low back and really get the proper muscles firing. From a front view, you can see there's no sag here, right? I'm not here. So you're lifting your hips up high enough so that there's pretty much a straight line from, again, your shoulder to your hip to your knee. Go ahead and grab the weight. We're going to start with shoulders. You're going to start to do a shoulder external rotation. So elbow is stacked on top of your rib cage. That top shoulder is peeled back and down, so it's way easy to get forward here. You want to try to kind of set that shoulder blade towards your spine without rolling your whole torso back. This is cheating. This is proper. Crank out about 15 or 20 repetitions here. The weight can be fairly light. These are your rotator cuff muscles of your shoulder. Don't forget about that transverse abdominis. I'll try and remind you each repetition here, but the goal is to really stay drawn in your lower abdomen. Keep breathing here. A few more. Good. So at any point in this, if you feel like you're not drawing your stomach muscles in as much as you were originally, pause the video, stop, rest. There's no point in doing the exercise unless you're really drawing in to that maximal range of motion. Okay, we'll alternate shoulder and hip. Go ahead, back up into the side plank, or you can alternate and do the other side of your shoulder now. It doesn't matter. From this side plank position, now we're gonna do hip external rotation. So my feet are staying together, my knee is rotating up and out, and same principle holds. Here, not here. Okay, so we're dissociating the moving limb from the stabilizing joint. Stomach muscles in. This is where you can add the band around your knees if you need more resistance. Usually after about 15 or 20 of these, you'll feel some muscles firing in that hip. The goal here is not to feel it firing in your TFL. So your TFL is that muscle that's kind of on the front side of your pelvis that comes off of that pointy bone right in the front there. You're just trying to feel muscles more on the back side of your hip. Go a couple more here. And then again, come on down. Reposition up onto your hand. If this is bothering your elbow at all, it'll be a little more challenging and through your hips, but a little bit easier on your shoulder. So second shoulder exercise, again from that side plank position. We're going to start from the external rotation position. This time you're going to just do a punch forward. So this is engaging the muscles that do horizontal abduction of your shoulder, hopefully somewhere in the back of that shoulder joint, and really focusing on stabilizing your top shoulder blade back and down. And then here, right, and through that stabilizing shoulder on the lower side, you want to try to get a pushing away motion. So your goal is to stay away from the ground as much as possible on that lower rib cage. And again, going for about 15 or 20 repetitions. Adjust the weight if you need to. If you're doing 30 or 40 reps, that weight is probably too light. If you're only doing 5 to 8 reps, that weight is probably too heavy. Okay, shoulder exercise number 2. Again, feel free to flip sides and do the other side. I will only do one side in this video, or just replay and go back through. Next is going to be hip abduction. So before we were keeping our feet together and lifting the knee, here you're going to lift both at the same time. So knee and ankle stay on the same plane of motion, and again holding your stomach muscles in, keeping everything up here nice and stable, nice and rigid. If you want to add a TheraBand, it's going to be either around your knees or your ankle. Ankle is harder than the knees. Both are great. You may find a tendency here to want to drop your hips back behind you. Try and stay up and forward. So really focus on that straight line from the knee to the hip to the shoulder. And last one, you can ditch your props. We're gonna alternate side planks. So from front plank here, you're gonna rotate into a side plank, come back down front plank, and then opposite side plank. So staying on the knees the entire time, fully getting into the side plank position here by opening up your chest, bringing your hips forward, and reaching that top arm up. It is in the transition, so here to here, that you're going to want to forget about that transverse abdominis. So just try and stay nice and stable. Again, drawing that stomach up and in. Crank out about 10 or 15 to each side of those, and then you can replay the video for the other side. Have fun.